me.
What is going on? And welcome to Gon's Tutorials. Today we're going to be working on After Effects. We're going to be working with My Name Is. It's going to be a video tutorial about using our transform keys or transform tools, which is going to be rotation, scale, opacity, and position. All four of those. We've already worked with position and opacity. And hopefully with you guys being able to watch a video and seeing how I'm doing things, it'll make a little more sense to you and you'll be able to get this done correctly the best way possible. So the first thing that we want to do, which you should already have, but I'm going to do it anyways just in case people were absent, is create a new composition. So as you see down here, you have the new composition icon. You can go ahead and press that. I'm going to name this one Name. Make sure that it's an HD 1080 2997. And then we're going to go ahead and switch the duration to 105. And then everything else should be left alone and the same. Make sure your lock aspect ratio is 16:9. If it's not, make sure it switches. And then press OK. So cool. Now we have our very first composition. We're going to go ahead and make another one and call this one My Name Is. And then 1. Oops. 1. Press OK. Then go ahead and break a new composition. My name is, and then 2. A new composition. My name is, and then 3. And then we're going to make another one and call this one Hi. And press OK. Then we're going to get a new composition and call this one Final. But on this one, we're changing it up. And I'm going to explain in a little bit why Final is different. But essentially, all the compositions we've created go into this last final one. And in this one, we need to give enough time for all of them, which is why we're going to put this one set to 500. Then press OK. So the first one we want to work with is going to be the one that says Name. So we're going to go ahead and double click on Name. That's going to prompt it to open down here. Because notice I have a bunch of compositions and you want to make sure that you're working on the correct one. So make sure you're under Name. The first thing you want to do is right click, go to New, create a new solid. As far as the color concerns, it's up to you. Creative freedom, do what you want. I'm just going to choose a random red right here and press OK. So now I have a red color. Now the next step is to grab my letter T, which is this one right here. I'm going to just type anywhere and go ahead and type in Gonzalez. Oops. Gonzalez, just like that. Then, switching back to my selection tool, I can now move this around, make it bigger if I wanted to. Oops, there we go. By the way, if you ever get this error right here that you guys are seeing, refresh disabled, release caps lock to refresh view, that just means you gotta press caps lock on your keyboard so that you can be able to see your stuff again. I'm gonna adjust this right here. I'm gonna put this somewhere in the center. It doesn't matter where you put it, it's up to you. Right here where you see characters, you can change your font. So I'm going to go with something like this. This looks kind of cool. And then right here where it says 85, you can click on it and type 55 or something like that. You can type whatever size you want. I like this. This looks pretty good to me. You can also change your color if you wanted to. But I'm going to leave it as white as I seem to like them. Alright, so for this very first one, this one we're only going to use rotation. So make sure you select the letter T right here where it says Gonzalez and press R for rotation. Make sure you're at 0 right here. And then we're going to go ahead and click the stopwatch. Now adding the stopwatch allows us to be able to start an animation process. At the moment, nothing is happening because we haven't done anything to this animation. If we were to rotate it, nothing's going to happen. All we did is say, I want it to start like that. I don't want it to start like that. I want it to start the way I had it. So I'm going to leave it just like that with a keyframe that says, at that keyframe, look the way you look right now. I'm going to head over 4 keyframes to the front, and I'm going to say, now I want you to look like that, which essentially it's moving down. It's not going to stay in the same position. So when I move it, there's now an actual animation, right? That's all we're doing for this. So don't get confused. Now I'm going to go to 8 frames. I'm just going to rotate this to the top. Doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter if, you know, how much you're moving it and stuff like that. All that matters is that, you know, there's some kind of movement. It doesn't matter where you add them. It's all good. You know what I mean? There we go. So when I press play, there it is. Some random movement. There's a little random mistake that can be easily fixed, but it's okay. I'll keep it. All right, so that's our very first one, and we've managed to move using the rotation tool. So this is where the next one comes in, where you all get to be a little bit creative and play around with all these stuff. And it's gonna be my name is, right? First thing we do is right click, go to new, and make a new solid. For this one, I'm gonna choose a different color. Maybe something in this little baby blue. And then click OK. Cool, I have my background. Now we need to go ahead and type. Select the letter T, click type, and put my. Now these colors don't look that good together, so I'm definitely changing that. Probably gonna do like some kind of bright orange, maybe. Something like that. And make this a lot bigger. Maybe change the font. That one's kind of cool. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. My. Then go ahead and grab the letter T again. Type right here. Name. Awesome. So now I have name. I'm going to change the color of that one as well. Put that one to this pink right here. That looks kind of cool. And then grab something else. This noodle font that I have here. Make this kind of big. Ooh, now I'm trying to think maybe I could do something like this. My name. And then maybe grab the letter T, type, oops. The letter T and type and put is. Change it, right? Let me highlight that and change it. Yeah, kind of cool. Look at that. This is a nice little cursive font right here. Put it like that. And I'm going to change the color of that. There we go. That looks kind of cool. So I have my name is. All right. So now that we have this, we're just going to go ahead and now animate this so that we can play around with the way that it looks like. So we have my name and is. Remember, if you open up this little triangles right here and you go to transform, you have position, scale, rotation, and opacity. And we can play with all four of them to create something that looks cool. There is no right or wrong. Just want you to kind of get a feel for it, see what you can come up with. All right, so let's go ahead and try right here on mine. I'm going to go ahead and click opacity at the very beginning, and then just head over 6 frames, you know, right here to 6. And I'm going to go ahead and add okay, hold on. Let's just go back right here. I'll put this at 0, actually. There we go. So now you can't see anything. Then you go over to 6, and then I'll put it at 100. Now you notice that it added a keyframe, right? Because now it's going from 100 to 0, right here. So when I press play, that happens. So the name pops up. Pretty cool, pretty easy so far. But now, let's get a little bit complicated with name, right? So for this one, I'm going to open up the little arrows, go to transform. And we have position, scale, and rotation. Let's use all of them. That way, you can kind of get an idea of how all of them work. So for name, I'm going to head over to, let's say 4 frames. And I'm going to add opacity, switch that over to 0. And I'm going to go over to 14 frames and put this over at like 100. So between there and there, this comes out. Oh, it kind of looks cool because it looks blue at some point. While that's happening, let's also move the name. So let's go ahead and click position and move the name down here. I want it to start off screen, right? By the time it gets to 14 frames, I want the name to be here. Notice that it added a new keyframe and it also added the line that shows movement. This is good because this allows us to see that we've done the animation correctly. From here, I'm going to go back. I'm going to add scale. Now I'll put scale at 0%. Come over here and make the scale be 250%. There we go. Cool. So now it's getting bigger and it's moving in that direction, all while the opacity is changing. Awesome. Now let's do rotation as well. So we have rotation, which starts at 0. We'll come this way, and we'll add a 1 at the front. By adding a 1 at the front, what we're telling it is that you want it to do one full rotation all the way around. So now we have this thing going on here. So you notice the name is moving, and it arrives. That's pretty cool. I like the way that's looking. So my name, maybe, notice that it's happening way too fast. If you wanted to move the time, even after the fact that you've already animated, you can come in here and just select all these keyframes, just like so, and move them to a later time. Remember, this is all based on you, so there is no right or wrong with the time frame. There, that looks a little bit nicer because it's moving a little bit slower. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and close this up, select is, open that up, and then move position. So right here, position, and then move is in this direction. Cool. And by the time it gets here, I want it to come this way. Maybe even do something like this. All right, so this is going to be kind of cool. From here, I'm going to move it like that, and then have it fade away. Let's see what that looks like. I don't like it. I'm just going to delete those and just have it come in. There we go. My name is. Awesome. So we have a cool little animation right now going on with all this. So different fonts. So the fonts are changing, and so are the colors, and so are the animations. So now you can do high. So let's go ahead and double click on high. And for high, let's get kind of creative. New solid. Let's go ahead and click on like, I don't know, like a purple or something. Click OK. And then let's go ahead and grab the type tool and write high. I highlight it, and I'm going to change the font. That's pretty cool. I'm going to bring this big. And I'm going to make this, I don't know what color looks good. What do you guys think? That looks pretty cool right here. Right, so for this one, I'm actually going to play around. I'm going to do something that's creative in a way, but you don't have to copy this. If it's too complicated, don't worry about it. But just so you can kind of see an idea of what you can actually do if you play around with it. I'm going to make a copy of this. So right click. I'm not entirely sure how you do it without my shortcuts, but I'll tell you the shortcuts because I don't know the way to do it without it. But by holding Control D, you notice I've made a copy right here. So now I'm going to make 3 copies. Control D, by the way. That's what you're using, Control and D. And so now I have 3 copies. I'm going to select all of them right here and press P. That's going to open up position for all of them. And I'm going to put position for all of them and move all of them outside the screen. Perfect. And right here, I'm going to move all of them to land right here. Perfect. So now all of them are doing the exact same thing, right? They're all moving and landing right there. But notice what happens if I make it start at a different time. So each one's starting a little bit sooner. And so now you have this like weird thing going on, right? Where they're all kind of like making this weird shape. Interesting. So what I'm going to do is select all of them again and press T for opacity. And I'm going to put an opacity on all of them. So now that I have this, they all land at 100%. But I'm going to put them here and put 0%. now you have this kind of like weird fading movement where like they're all kind of coming through and they all land to say hi. Pretty interesting. You don't have to copy this, but again, if you play around with it, you can come up with some unique creative stuff. So your job is to do my name is 2, my name is 3, and then let me show you what happens when we put it on final. Alright, so now that we have all of them done, I have here name, my name is 1, my name is 2, my name is 3, hi, and then final. So what do we do with final? Why did we make this? The reason why is because we're going to add everything in here. So I have the song that we're using, which is Eminem, my name is. Go ahead and drag that in here. Now, hopefully when I play this video, I don't get copyrighted for strikes and all that. I don't do any of that kind of stuff with my videos, but you know, hopefully it's all good, right? But we're gonna go ahead and add hi right here at the front, and then name, put it on top. Then my name is 1, my name is 2, my name is 3, and I believe that's it. And then final is the one we're currently working with. The last thing we need to do is make sure we add the song, my name is. Now if you open up the song, and you open it up right here where it has the little arrow and then audio, and then you go to waveform, you should be able to see the waveform. This little area right here that you kind of see all the way up to this point, this is that little DJ scratching noise that you hear, right? So that's going to be the part of name. We want name to go ahead and start somewhere with the music right there. So we're actually going to move the music. If you select the music and you click on the actual like bar that's going through there, you can actually move it. So we're going to make sure the music starts right here and the name starts right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and preview this. Right, so right at this point, I'm going to go ahead and lower that because that's kind of very loud. So right at this point right here, this is where it says hi. And we make sure we add this right here.
Hi, my name is what?
And so right around here, wow, that is loud. Let me lower that. So right around here, this is where it says my name is, the very first one. So that's where we're going to add my name is. But notice that hi is still in front of it. And we don't want it to be in front of it anymore because we want to be able to see my name is, right? So if you bring your mouse towards the end of that specific composition, you will be able to see these little arrows, which you can click and make shorter. If you have any issues with this, let me know. I can help you out on the process, but it's really, you know, it's like, just go to the edge and you can make it shorter, right? And now we have this.
Hi, my name is what?
So my name is.
My name is what?
So notice that this little part right here is the part that says what. And I kind of want my name is to be done by then. So let's go ahead and play it a little bit earlier.
Hi, my name is what? My name
And so right here,
is what?
right around here is where the second my name is starts. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one and bring it in this direction.
Hi, my name is my name.
And right around here is where the third one will start. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one and bring it this way.
Hi, my name is what? My name is my name is. Hi, my name is
That is
what?
the end.
My name is my name is.
And that is the end right here, guys. So notice that we have a couple of seconds or frames to spare. Now when we have that kind of stuff going on, these little blue bars that you see here, I'm going to go ahead and make them smaller. This is the area that determines what you want to export when you're done. And because we're missing a couple of frames, we want to make sure that this starts at the very beginning and this ends with our actual assignment right here. That's the end of our place. So that's all I need. That's all I export. Because other than that, you're going to have leftover, which is just black footage that comes out at the end. And we don't want that. Make sure you don't get these confused with the ones that are on top. These are to zoom in to your composition. We don't want to be doing that. Don't get scared. Uh, Remember, if you ever double click on something, like say this right here, and you see this kind of stuff going on, just remember to go ahead and jump over back to composition. You'll be there. If you're ever inside one of these, just make sure you know which composition you're working with, and final is the one that we want. Once you're done with this whole thing and you're ready to export, make sure you have final selected. Make sure the song is at the very bottom, and then you go to composition and add to media encoder. It might take a little while to pop open, but while we wait, let's just make sure we can double check, make sure everything's good here.
Hi, my name is what? My name is my name.
Perfect. And so we bring it up and wait for it to load. Now, some of you were pressing this like 3, 4, 5 times because it takes a while, and you guys are like, oh, it's not working, it's not working. Just bear with it. It will work. It will eventually come up, and you'll be fine. Just don't press it 1,000 times, because then you're going to have like 1,000 files that you're going to export. So just right now you see nothing. Just leave it alone, and it will pop up. You see? So from there, make sure it's at H.264, which should be there by default. The next thing you want to do is click right here where it says output, and make sure you click and you go to lesson 3, finished files, and you name this my name is, and you put save. Then you click the play button, and you're done. After that, just submit it to Schoology, and I'll see you on the next one.